I want to thank our registered speakers for their patience as we transition to this separate live recording session. We will now continue to live record the public comment session. As a reminder, our rules of conduct and decorum still apply, and your recorded comments will be distributed to the MTA board and will be posted to our board meeting webpage and YouTube channel. Our next speaker will be Omar Vera.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Notice that you have an ambitious capital program, but we need more funding for it. So, as the previous speakers noted, we should move forward towards that. And second, I'm waiting to see when the Omni machines will finally start offering 7-day and 30-day unlimited cards, like Omni cards, for regular riders, as including, of course, the reduced fare options. And so far, we have the fare cap, but only on our own devices. I want to see if we can extend it to everyone. And with that said, that's all I have to say for now. And have a great day.
Our next speaker will be Iris Kelly, followed by Katherine Small.
My name is Iris Kelly, and I have different regards. First, for this railroad, they should make the signs a little bit lower. It's too high because that's what people 5 foot be able to see the trains coming. Then, second of all, they need to make the train time better connection for people from Brooklyn to Manhattan, and vice versa. Like Sunday I had one for the connection. It's 10:04, both 10:04, which is no good. That's okay across the platform, but the Manhattan train should have been I'm sorry, Brooklyn train should have been 10:10 instead of 10:04, and we had a chance to get over to the other side. Okay, now for the congestion pricing, Kathy Hochul breaking laws here. First of all, it was already set up in the legislature. Then it's after saying about this is supposed to be done, because we all need elevators. You know, that's what the main thing was. One of the things that was made for the congestion pricing. It had 23 elevators in line to be done, but now she pulled it back in, and you don't have that now. It's much harder for now for people with ADA, and we have a lot of problems with this already. And they have a right to ride, and not only just people with disability, but other people too, with baby carriages, walkers, all sorts of other different means of getting into the subway. And this nerve to find money just for the Second Avenue subway, that's eventually being needed. But right now, we need to fix elevators in our own area, but we need help with. It's letting people, if you deny access, what you're doing right now with this congestion pricing being paused. Because you're just denying access, and you didn't get revenue, you don't have any revenue that you could be having in the city. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Katherine Small, followed by Evan Yankee.
Hello, folks. I'm Katherine Small. I'm a lifelong New Yorker, born in the Bronx and now living in Brooklyn. I've been riding the subway since I was a child, and that's why I strongly believe that we must stop politicking and end Hochul's chokehold on congestion pricing now. New York City's transit system is far behind those in other major international cities like Tokyo, and we deserve the best. And most of our buses and trains are ancient, they're unpredictable. For example, the B44, a major connector for Brooklynites, has become completely unreliable in the past several years. And that's removed an affordable and predictable path to JFK for many riders. I live on the 2-5 line and regularly pass through Franklin Avenue, Medgar Evers Station, which is a bottleneck junction plagued with constant delays for riders of the 2, 3, 4, and 5 trains. This and many of our other stations are dirty, poorly maintained, and inaccessible for our many disabled New Yorkers. The state has a mandate to enact congestion pricing, and we must follow through. We should no longer subsidize drivers that want the luxury of crowding the busiest parts of Manhattan. Drivers have run wild in our city when in reality, they are the minority. Unfortunately, because of the current situation, it's usually faster to walk than to take a bus in what would have been the congestion pricing zone. And that's just not an option for some people. Use of the subway and bus lines should be the reliable standard, especially in this particular borough. To continuously improve and maintain the MTA services, we need a stable source of income. And we know that's congestion pricing, so make it happen. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Evan Yankee, followed by Monica Bartley. We will move on to Monica Bartley.
Good morning. My name is Monica Bartley, member of Disabled in Action. I'm here to share a pressing issue that many of us face with Access-a-Ride. Recently, I found myself stranded, waiting over 2 hours for a ride that never showed up. Despite reaching out for assistance, Access-a-Ride was unable to provide a vehicle from their rescue team. I eventually ended up requesting a taxi authorization that I did not budget for. This is not just an isolated incident. Recently, the service has proven to be unreliable, reminiscent of the struggles we faced some years ago. To ensure I arrive at appointments on time, I have to reserve my rides 2 hours in advance. Frustrating and inefficient use of time. We need to get to the root of this problem and find real solutions. It is time for Access-a-Ride to prioritize reliability and ensure that those who depend on their services can trust that they will arrive when needed. Accessible transportation is crucial for people with disabilities. I urge you to approve the capital plan so we can have better access to the services we need, such as accessible subway stations and regular elevator maintenance, which would provide an alternative to Access-a-Ride. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker will be Jean Marie Offenbacher.
So to start, okay, great. Hi, my name's Jean-Marie Offenbacher, and I've been living in New York since I was a teenager, and I've been cycling in New York for over 40 years. Since 2021, I've witnessed an egregious increase in the volume and aggression of suburban drivers on our streets. Despite the addition of bike paths, conditions for cycling have become so dangerous that I avoid cycling in Midtown, especially in the evening. In West Chelsea, we suffer from noise, heat, and air pollution as traffic has increased at least tenfold on my block. Din and dirt from cars now extend deep into the night, so we can't open our windows and we have to resort to running air conditioners. Further compounding the environmental and economic impact, one of Stadium Kathy's proposals to fund the MTA was to impose a tax on businesses, which will not remediate the deleterious effects of heavy traffic on our health and safety. A tax will only create hardship for smaller businesses, which can't afford tax loopholes or buy state subsidies. Manhattan residents pay high property taxes. We do not drive stinky vehicles and park in suburban neighborhoods. We do not menace suburban pedestrians and cyclists. And city residents with cars should also be encouraged to keep their cars parked unless they are leaving the city. Hochul's claim that public service personnel such as teachers, will be negatively impacted is also nonsense. The city workers driving in droves are an NYPD, and there's a great solution to that: community policing. Please implement congestion pricing. Meanwhile, congestion is harming humans in the city and impacting climate every day. Thank you.
That's all.
Our next speaker will be Charlton D'Souza, followed by Liam Hunt.
All right, everyone. So this morning I am outraged. Many of us registered to speak and were not allowed to speak because we do not support congestion pricing. The MTA's pay-to-play scheme needs to end. And all the other nonprofits who support congestion pricing are being allowed to come into the meetings in large droves, being allowed to speak, and that is criminal. You are not hearing from real New Yorkers who actually ride the subway system, who actually are out there doing the work. This needs to be exposed. And believe in me, I am filing complaints with all the federal agencies against the MTA and against many of these other organizations. We're done. We're done. You're not going to discriminate against New Yorkers. The MTA's pay-to-play scheme works where all these other nonprofits are getting money from the MTA contractors who are set to benefit from congestion pricing. So that's why everybody's pushing this congestion pricing scheme. It is not fair to New Yorkers. And a man was killed in the subway the other day. There was a stabbing. What the hell is going on in the subway system? You guys don't care about our safety. We will keep fighting congestion pricing, and our safety matters. You will not do this to us, and I will sue this agency. This is my final warning to all of you. All right, get ready for civil lawsuits. We've been waiting carefully and documenting everything. That's it. We're done. We're not going to accept this anymore. You guys do not care about us. In fact, people in Queens are waiting 45 minutes for a bus. Buses are being canceled because of a bus shortage in Staten Island and throughout the city. And you guys want to dump congestion pricing on us? Really? I am truly disgusted with the MTA leadership and the way that people who are against congestion pricing have been treated by this agency and other people. What you'll need to do is let every speaker speak, no matter how long it takes. New Jersey Transit does it.
Please conclude
Other
your
agencies
remarks.
do it.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Liam Hunt, followed by Michael Ortiz.
Hi, my name's Liam. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I want to express my excitement about the MTA's 2025 to 2029 capital plan. I think it's ambitious, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy about the prioritization of repairs on basic infrastructure, and I'm also excited about the IBX. I hope the capital plan is funded and that everything in it happens, and I hope that congestion pricing is unpaused immediately. I think it's kind of strange to discuss whether or not $15 is the right level when a long and robust process led to everyone deciding that $15 is the right level. Yeah, I support the congestion charge. I'm happy about the work the MTA is doing, and I can't wait to see what the city looks like in 5 years. Thank you.
Our final speaker will be Michael Ortiz.
Good morning, everyone. And yes, I'm going to continue my remarks about the overcrowding situation on the S93 bus. First of all, the people that are waiting in line for the bus come out at around 2 o'clock. And that's when the overcrowding situation starts. People that wait in the back have to wait an additional 60 to 90 minutes because of how not only because of the bus shortages that are in Staten Island, and the people that don't fit on the bus have to wait that much longer. And that's how fights break out. And we are not tolerating this. The people, and the reason being is because once a bus arrives at the South Administration bus stop located inside the College of Staten Island, it will end up going out of service. And that's how it gets students and professors in that stop outraged. And it's not allowed, and we're not tolerating this no more. And what about the people who are at 6 o'clock even and seeing as overcrowded? And it is not fair for people that have to sit through endless cycles just for a bus. And what happens to those that are in back that are waiting too long? Well, they'll end up getting ripped off by taxis, Ubers, and Lyft, and we are not tolerating this. Nobody can afford taxis. Nobody can tolerate the expensive rides that taxis, Ubers, and Lyfts offer, and we're not allowing it. We're not allowing it, and that's the thing. And people are going through longer commutes, such as going on the gate on the S62 bus or going through the back gate on the S61. We are not tolerating this, and we demand more buses on the S93 at the busiest times of days, which are Mondays to Fridays from 2 to 4 and from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We need those extra buses in service, and I will not stop speaking until we get them. Thank you.
We actually have one more speaker, so we will move on to Sam Stepner, and then we will conclude after that.
You want to confirm that it's
Good morning, board members and attendees. My name is Sam Stepner. I'm a New York City resident and a power wheelchair user. I'm here today to speak about funding for the accessibility of the subway system. We've been waiting far too long for accessible subways. The first lawsuit against the MTA was filed in 1979, 45 years ago, but fewer than 1 in 3 stations are accessible in 2024. If you use a wheelchair, not being able to use the subway easily makes it much harder to travel throughout New York City. Only 2 years ago, the MTA settled lawsuits with disability advocates and finally agreed to make the subways accessible over the next 30 years. But now, 23 elevator projects already are delayed because of the loss of transit funding. If congestion pricing isn't moving forward or won't bring in as much money as expected, we still need the money for accessible stations. It's time for Governor Hochul and the legislature to act. If they wait until next year's budget negotiations, we'll have lost a year and 23 projects. Many of us here today support congestion pricing, but it is not the only way to fund transit. It would bring in a lot of money, but there are other sources of funding. It is not up to us to find the way to fund transit. It's up to Albany. This includes Governor Hochul, who appointed many of you, and the state Senate and the Assembly. Mayor Adams, who also has representatives on the board, also must play a role. Today, you must tell Governor Hochul, Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie, and Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, fix this now. Thank you.
Thank you all for your participation and comments in today's session. This concludes our public comment session.